charge as the Lakers and places like that. How important was it for you?
I've been here 2 years, and I've never, ever had anything but respect, admiration, and understanding of what that represents here in LA. So we felt immense pressure. I mentioned that earlier. We felt immense pressure to deliver on that, but it was more about trying to ensure we got the right fit, the right coach, the right leader with the right integrity, the right passion, the right competitive spirit, rather than trying to win the press conference. So I think in the end, when you have a coach with the confidence and poise and stature and reputation as Lincoln, it represents all those things in a beautiful, beautiful way. So it really came together very, very nicely.
Do you feel like this gives your team now relevance more so because now that you have a big time hire who can recruit, who can get the team, the program back on the map?
I certainly think that's a big part of it. But I also think it's a big part of ensuring that we support Coach and his family and these new coaches coming in here and support our team with a high intensity of interest that helps us. Everybody has a role, everybody. And I think that's why the Trojan family has demonstrated that unity and that competitive spirit, that fight-on mentality recently, and that's going to be important to us. And when he talks about having a full stadium, I think that's really, really important. And when I was fortunate enough to visit with Pete Carroll, and by the way, he really touched my heart talking about how excited he was about Lincoln being here. And he represents the same sense of pride and spirit that our former players and our Trojans have about Lincoln and about our bright future. But creating that energy and that sense of pride with having a full stadium, I think that's something that when I talk with Pete, he's most proud of that. And so I think it's all of our job to ensure we're doing everything we can to create that environment so that our student athletes and our recruits and the nation sees that sense of, again, a high intensity of interest that gives us an advantage.
What were some of the under the surface boxes that you guys had to check that Lincoln maybe asked you about? Like maybe some of the tougher questions that he wanted to make sure about before he committed to this?
I don't want to reveal too many of those in the sense of anything except momentum and positivity, but I think in the end it's about ensuring that the Trojan family is united, and that the city of Los Angeles understands the importance of USC and the commitment to where we're going, and that's what we talked about. We talked about a high level of interest from the media and a high level of interest from our alumni base and all the different people that make us go. And that was real, and I think when we put that 50-page deck associated with what makes the city great, what makes the university great, and why our future is so bright, that was really important to us. So I think it wasn't so much about boxes that had big question marks from Lincoln. It was more about boxes we already had a great foundation to stand on. And I want to be clear that our former coaches, our former players, the donors that helped build this incredible structure, the media members that have covered this program and invested so much in it, our fans, our student body, for example, our students this year representing sold out tickets for the first time in 10, 11 years, that all those different pieces are important, and being able to represent that and have those boxes not necessarily checked, but really put in a foundational way was important. So there didn't have to be a whole bunch of question marks, because we already went through all of those. And I think that was something that, again, our consultant did a great job of helping us with, and Brandon Sosna and Tim and others that have been here a long time helped instill. So that was critical for us.
What was the most stressful part of this search?
The whole thing, because we care a great deal, and we felt immense pressure. This is a program that is deserving of that type of respect. So we know what it means. We know what it means, and we know what it means to our alumni, to the brand. I think we know what it means to Los Angeles, to the Pac-12, and in a big way, I think we know what this means to college football.
Mike, I know you guys did a lot to build everything up, obviously, around the coach for a coach to step in, but in terms of continuing to advance that, were there any promises made to Lincoln as part of him coming on as coach to sort of advance that along further?
I think that the commitments include a competitive spirit that matches his. So I think that the alignment, as he's talked about and I've talked about, runs the full gamut. And I think when you're in a partnership, which is what we're in, there's some unknowns probably coming ahead that we're going to want to look and work on together. And I think that's what's most exciting is he's a bright coach, a great leader with an incredible football acumen, but he also has a great sense of other aspects. And I think that sense of a new lens and coming from an elite program may provide us with some opportunities that we really haven't identified yet, and we're looking forward to that. And I think that's why the Trojan family, once again, is the critical piece to ensure that we can make those things happen, and that's what's exciting.
Mike, what can you say about the financial investment in the contract?
We understand the competitive nature of what's going on in the marketplace, and we recognize the importance of being competitive. But we have a firm understanding of what the marketplace is.
Mike, how long is the contract?
We aren't announcing details on the contract today. I think this hire does a lot for, I mentioned college football. I think it does a heck of a lot for college football. I was a former college football player myself, so was Lincoln. And whether it's playing a game like we are this Saturday, in an effort to recognize the enterprise and the importance of our role in ensuring college football on the West Coast and nationally is important, respected, and celebrated as much as ever is extremely important to us. And we understand our leadership role in that. And I think that's why I've added additional pressure and additional intensity of review by so many, because we want to lift the Pac-12 up. And we recognize them. My peers tell me all the time, and national media members that were here right now talk about the importance. When USC's good, it's good for college football. And so we know that. And so that is a responsibility and a respect piece that we take very, very seriously. And I think that's why having a competitive coach, a competitive administration, and a competitive fan base is really important to be able to address that.
Mike, coaches almost never leave marquee programs to marquee programs. It never happens. So what made you think you had a shot at him? I mean, it's like going for Belichick or Saban. What made you think at all you had a shot at this guy?
I believe in this university. I believe in LA. I believe in our Trojan family.
Him in particular, what made you think there was a crack in the door?
Because of all those things. I think the Trojan family is a real thing. We talk about a lot, it's real. And the sports stature of Los Angeles is real. And when you have the Lakers doing what they're doing, and the commitment to sports in this community, the new investments the Clippers are making, certainly what's going on across town with the Rams and the Chargers, and obviously other sports here, it's real. And there's a sense that, hey, sports matter here. And they want championship aspirations here.
That's a football powerhouse there. I mean, what made you think, that he would leave Oklahoma?
Well, I think that in the end, it's about a belief in what we stand for here at SC and in LA. I believe in that. It's a real thing. It's a real phenomenon of competitiveness. It's a real sense about championship expectations and championship goals, and we feel it. And I've only been here a short time, but growing up as a kid, watching Coach McKay and watching obviously our great players and being in the league in another role, I feel that expectation, but also feel that sense of what makes it special. And I think that's why the ability to unite the Trojan family behind this is something that gives you courage and the strength to be able to feel like we can do that. And I think